Okay, and before we begin, we're just gonna do a little polling. So in a minute, not even a minute, in a second, a poll window will come up on your screen, and it'll ask you a bunch of questions like, how are you today? Are you a primary parent, secondary parent, or both? And what made you interested in attending today? This will help us focus on certain areas for you. So please do click on the poll. Okay, so most of us here are curious about the topic. So that's good. And I think we have a pretty even split between primary and secondary parents. And it seems 5 out of 8 of us are feeling great, so that's good. And so I guess without further ado, Mon, I'll let you take it away.
Hi, everyone. Hi, parents and teachers. So thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that everyone had their dinners and is full at the moment because we're going to talk about some interesting stuff about cyber safety and social media. Next. Okay, so who are we? I hope some of the parents and teachers remember us from 2 years ago. So we've actually already came and did a little presentation before, but who are we? We are a leading provider of cyber safety education and consultation. We're actually certified by Federal Office of the E-Safety Commissioner in Australia. We actually got some trainings over there. We have taught more than 350,000 students, more than 200,000 parents, and in 450 schools. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to give some very, very practical solutions instead of hardcore or complicated theories or teachings. So we hope that it's going to be very useful in your everyday life with your children. Not only helping them navigate, but also thrive in the online world. Okay, next. Okay, so our agenda today is we're going to discuss about navigating in the social media, what's the social media scenes nowadays look like, and then the online well-being tools that we're going to teach tomorrow, and also some of the tools that you can use in your everyday at home with your kids. And also, lastly, we're going to tell you how YSafe approach cyber safety at home. Okay, next. Okay, so navigating the social media. Since these are the two most famous or used apps, we're going to focus on these two. And maybe most of you have already used it before, but here are some of the interesting facts. The demographics of TikTok is actually younger, is 18 to 24 years old. However, Instagram have older users, 25 to 35 years old. And then the user behavior is also different. With TikTok, it is actually a platform where users go for entertainment purposes, mainly to watch random funny videos, short tutorials, or even educational content. However, with Instagram, it's a platform where users catch up with their friends or family, check on their favorite influencers and brands. So it's more of a social app or platform. The type of content is TikTok, as you know, is only video, but in Instagram, they offer a more range and allow user to post simple images, carousels, which has multiple image and video content. And the influencer marketing or behaviors, that TikTok influencers are more spontaneous and authentic in making their videos and have a closer relationship with their audience. For example, like micro influencers. But in Instagram, the influencers are much more polished and treat their online presence as a brand asset, like macro or like high A-lister celebrities. And why I am discussing about influencers, because especially Gen Z, they are very, very highly affected, and they very much follow these influencers online. Okay, next. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some of the risk of Instagram today. So there's an immense number of celebrity or influencer profiles which are actually found to be harmful to children's mental health. So the numbers are 60% of teen girls and 40% of teen boys on Instagram experience negative social comparison, not only to influencers, but also their peers, where they compare lifestyles, what they have, what they post, what they use, and clothing, and etc. And it's actually having very negative impacts to these teen girls and boys. And also, it's very surprising that 1 in 3 teen girls say that the content they see makes them feel worse about themselves. And so these posts on Instagram that they see every day is have a very detrimental effect on their mental health. Second, a study, individuals with higher FOMO, which is fear of missing out, because teens these days have very, very high fear of missing out, is reported having a more favorable attitude towards Instagram, followed more Instagram accounts, and reported stronger social media addictive tendencies. So what I mean is that since teens these days are always wanting to be updated with what their friends are doing, what their influencer or celebrities are doing, what they're using, they have to be always up to date. This makes Instagram very addictive. And also, since the stories are time limited and it will be gone in 24 hours, they have to see it that day. So these and also the fact that the explore pages and the reels are having infinite scrolls, it also make it very addictive. And also they will lose track of time since it's infinite. Also, the third one, according to research, Instagram is the #1 app for the most cyberbullying incidents. This is because it's a very, very social app. And a survey by UNICEF is that a poll of 2,777 Indonesian young people aged 14 and to 24 found that 45% report that they had experienced cyberbullying. And the most common types are in chatting application, unauthorized spread of personal or photo or video, or other types of harassment. Okay, next. Okay, so being said the risk, here are some of the recommendations, either in apps or behaviorals. For example, the mental health problem. There are a few conversational starters that we will discuss later on how you can approach your children without them being violated, how to create a relationship with them or bond, and also another solution is to reduce screen time, because research found that increase screen time will lead to increase of depression, loneliness, and other mental health problems. With addiction or excessive use, Instagram has many advanced features. One of them is view activity and set reminder. So you can actually see how long you spend time on that app, and you can set a reminder of how long you want to spend, the minutes that you want to spend that day. So after you've run out of the minutes, the Instagram will actually give a reminder that you've actually already used that app that amount of time. And then mute notification, you can actually mute notifications so you won't be disturbed while using your phone and not the app. And then cyberbullying. With cyberbullying, Instagram has a very a feature, a very good feature, which is restrict or mute account. So you can actually restrict a profile, and that person cannot leave comments on your profile. In their eyes, they've already posted it, but actually no one else can see it. Or you can mute accounts, so you won't see what they post on story or post. And then second is the support request, where they can report someone or a post, and they can see the progress. And then this is a new feature, which is close friends list. You can curate your own friends list who can see your post and not outside that list. Okay, next. Okay, so with TikTok is very highly addictive because of its For You page and algorithm that is known to be unique and highly personalized for each user. So they have a very great AI in generating their videos of what you like to see and etc. And second, the major concern for children in using this app is online predators. This is because, as I've said before, TikTok is associated or mostly and is mainly used by younger children. There are a lot of online predators in TikTok that can be very harmful for these children. And also there's a trend of these teens making over-sexualized contents. I'm gonna play the video to show you what I mean. Is this sound on?
15. So a lot of times they're wearing really revealing clothing. And I'm all about women embracing their sexual freedom, but 13 to 15-year-olds are children. And so they're really internalizing sexualization and over objectifying themselves without even really knowing what they're doing. They're just really trying.
Yeah, so the trend these days are for teenage girls making videos by revealing themselves, their bodies, and that's a really huge problem nowadays. And so third is a TikTok short video format, which is only 15 seconds, has been linked to a decrease in attention span. According to an article in Independent, those who use the app over 90 minutes can narrow the collective attention span over time. This is because when you are exposed to a 15-second video and then you have to watch over an hour or even a 30-minute, your brain automatically becomes a little bit more lazier or prefer the shorter video ones. Okay, next. Okay, so these are some of the solutions that we would like to give. So for addiction and excessive use, TikTok has a feature to set daily screen time. And if you go beyond that time set for that day, you have to put in a passcode so that your child can no longer use it until the next day. So for online predators, TikTok actually has a very, very good system where below the age 16, the profile is set to be private at default. Their videos cannot be downloaded. Direct messaging is not available. No one can duet or stitch with their videos. However, that's why it is very important when making the profile that they give their true age. However, TikTok may ban their account if they suspect that you're 13 years old. Actually, it's 14 in Indonesia and South Korea. However, if you think that they made a mistake and you are not under 13, they will actually ask for a selfie with your ID, photo with guardian, and a credit card if you're over 18. So besides private accounts, how to actually prepare yourself for online predators is actually to control the messages and comments. You can turn off messages from everyone except for your friends. And also there's a feature of filtering out comments that you don't want to see with maybe like some hateful or like bad words. And then the third is teaching them mindful use of social media by modeling behavior or telling them how you would use social media in a mindful way, which I will explain later more. And then attention span. So as I've said before, reduce screen time, because the more you are engaged in these 15-second videos, the more you are disengaged in longer videos. And encourage balanced life. So encourage outdoor activities, physical activities, which is very highly beneficial for children, or just time with friends and family. Next. Okay, so supervising your children's social media accounts. Nowadays, these apps, Instagram and TikTok, actually provide you parents with tools to support your child's social media experience. Teens can invite parents for supervisions of their accounts in Instagram, or they can do what is called a family pairing in TikTok. So I'm going to show you a video on how you can do it. Okay, so both TikTok and Instagram in the past few years have been working very hard in creating these advanced tools, because they realize that it's very dangerous for the children in using these apps, especially underage. So by linking your account to your children's, to enable a variety of content and privacy settings, we encourage parents to carefully discuss wisely and before, and explain why they choose to turn them on, so that they don't feel violated and they're open to this tool. Okay, so here are some of the tips to help parents support their children in using social media safely and positively. So these tips are compiled by clinicians at the Child Mind Institute. So first is, as I've said, focus on balance offline time with friends and family, because it is very important for face-to-face socialization and interaction. Second is a model mindful use of social media. Share and talk to your children how different activities or accounts make you feel. For example, how you feel about maybe how a certain influencer is posing, is dressing up, and also kids model their parents' behavior. So how you use your social media or your phones. For example, by putting it away at meal times, they will actually model your behavior. And third is observe but don't spy. Following them on social media can be a great way to stay connected and looking out for signs of trouble. But however, overlingering in their accounts can make kids feel violated, and they might think that you don't trust them. So as a result, they might make or even already have a second account, or they can restrict you, which you won't know with the new feature. And then fourth is share tools to deal with cyberbullying, because it is very important to discuss approaches to cyberbullying before it even comes up. So you make sure that they know how to react, who they can talk to, and strategies for dealing with it. And nowadays, the apps are very, very enhanced in reporting a post or reporting a profile, and you can actually track the report. Lastly, set boundaries when and where they can use their phones or social media. Make sure they know your expectations in using them. Also, not an hour before bed, because their brain will be engaged and activated and will be harder for them to fall asleep. And it would be also be a good idea to have an alarm clock that isn't their phone, because they'll be distracted. Next. Here are some of the conversation starters that you can use with their children. This is actually recommended by the clinicians at the Child Mind Institute. So first is you can start by asking, what are your favorite accounts to follow on Instagram? What do you like about them? So instead of saying that social media is bad or you can't use them, ask them what they like, and maybe also share what you like. What are your favorite accounts? Sharing and having that bond of so that they can open up and share to you. Second, maybe you can ask, have you ever felt uncomfortable with something you saw or an experience you had on social media, and what did you do? By asking this, you can know how your child actually react, or how they overcome an uncomfortable situation online. Third is sometimes when I've been scrolling on social media for a while, I notice that it starts to feel stressful instead of meaningful. Does that ever happen to you? And lastly, maybe you can say, I saw people were upset when maybe like Kim Kardashian posted about a certain topic. And what did you think about their post? And asking maybe like a trending topic, something like that will engage your children in talking to you about Instagram, or yeah, just sharing with you. And our advice is you can give solution to them, and don't forget to also share your personal experiences, or even ask them guidance on how to use these apps for bonding purposes. And yeah, so our advice is also, don't start with by saying social media is bad, or you cannot use them, or you limit their time, but instead ask them why they use it and how it inspires them. Next. Okay, so here are some of the YSafe concepts that we'll be teaching tomorrow. So how to be a digital citizen. So first is protect their information. This is more for the primary younger kids. Second is respect themselves and others. Third is stay safe online. 4 is stand up to cyberbullying. And 5 is balance the time. Also, there's another concept is think before you post. And there's the 4 P's, so they can remember it more easily. So would you be okay if these people saw your post? The principal, the police, the parents, or the perfect stranger? How we teach them is if they know their first and last name, if they've had seen them in real life, and if their parents actually let them or know them. If they can tick the 3 of them, then they can talk to the person online. Okay, next. This is also another concept, which is cyberbullying bystander. We'll teach them about how to be a positive or hero bystander in a cyberbullying situation. Okay, so since attention span has been in a topic in demand, we would like to discuss a little bit about how to increase your children's attention span especially when studying at home. So child development experts suggest that the average child should be able to concentrate on one task for 2 to 5 minutes multiplied by their age. For example, if your child is 10 years old, the minimum time that they can concentrate is 20 minutes, and the maximum would be around 50 minutes. This is just a guidance for you in guiding them to study effectively. So for primary children, what we can recommend is be creative. For example, by using games or dramas and plays, maybe making like flashcards, colorful ones as a means of study. And incorporate physical activity and stretches in between study, because research suggests that stretching may improve mood and cognitive performance, helping the person feel calmer and more focused on task. Research also found that the physical movement can optimize your brain functions and increase your IQ and also increase your focus. So there's a lot of great benefits in physical and stretches in between study, and also using timers and checklists, because timers can act as a great incentive. With a timer, you know exactly how much time you have and ensures that they don't procrastinate, and also give a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment. Just like checklists also, it makes them more productive. They can break down larger tasks, help them feel more successful, and give a feeling of satisfaction. Even though these recommendations may seem silly or simple, but in applying in day-to-day, in their day-to-day study routine would be very helpful. Next. And also play memory games. Make it very fun. For example, cards recall, magic mug, or picture bingo. They can have fun and also train their memories, which will be very helpful for studying. And then for secondary children, there's called the Pomodoro time. The Pomodoro technique is developed in the late 1980s by a university student named Francesco Cirillo. He was struggling to focus on his studies and to complete his assignments. So what it is a very simple method. So first is you plan your task and you break it down on how many Pomodoros might you need. So one Pomodoro is time for 25 minutes, and then you take a break for 5 minutes. And then you repeat that for 4 times until you can get a longer break, like 15 to 30 minutes. So to make this successful, you have to stick with the time limit, and also maybe like so you can combine smaller tasks in one Pomodoro if it's not a 25 minutes task. And second, our recommendation is to get your children to have virtual study companion. For example, you can search study with me YouTube videos, and in the video there's actually various ones. There's like one with calming pictures and voices to help them concentrate, and there's also the Pomodoro time at the bottom, so they will be more engaged and follow that timer. Next. And then reward system. It can be useful to have a reward system. For example, maybe when your child have completed a task, you can give them their favorite food, or let them play games or their phones, for example. Next. Okay, lastly, this is very interesting, is chewing gum. The research says that gum increases the flow of oxygen to regions of the brain responsible for attention. More oxygen can keep people alert and improve their reflexes. And research also shows that you actually won't get the same effect by just pretending to chew gum. So you actually have to chew the gum. And the act of chewing is associated with an alerting effect. So you are always alerted and have a higher attention span when studying. This could be a fun idea for your child, an older child, of course. Next.
Okay, so to the parents here, we did the teacher workshops today, this afternoon, and these are just some of the concepts that we were talking about. So essentially here, this graph, it talks about Generation Alpha. So at the moment, DSJ has 2 generations in their school. The first one being Gen Z, which are mostly the secondary students, and then the second one is Generation Alpha, who are the primary school students. And something very interesting about Generation Alpha is that they were born the same year that the iPad was officially introduced in the world, and so indirectly they became the guinea pigs of parents who just pacified their children with a tablet. So they essentially grew up learning through games, and they love games so much. And Gen Alpha is also very, characterized by characterized, sorry, characterized by short attention span. And so it's very interesting because, of course, as Mon said, by 10 years old, they should be able to focus for 20 minutes or so, but we're seeing that is going down and down because of these things. And so we recommend that if you do have a primary school student, it's best to incorporate challenges and rewards in their learning time so that it sort of mimics what they would get from a game. Because, for example, if they are playing Fortnite or they're playing Roblox, they complete a challenge and then they get rewarded for it through virtual confetti or whatever it is, and it makes them feel happy. So parents and teachers, we were saying that we need to incorporate challenge and reward in their study as well. Something that's also very interesting here are the new jobs for the future. So for example, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they will be essentially doing jobs that we've never heard of before, like life simplifier or sleep technician or AI specialist. Those jobs did not exist when we were growing up. So essentially the question that we posed to teachers is, how can education better serve children for the future? And because of all these technological advances, and let's face it, our children, all the students, they all use technology and they know how to use technology. So the usage of technology we can't teach them how to do that anymore. Instead, what we have to do as teachers and parents is to help them with their needs, their basic needs. So I'm not sure if, I'm sure some of you have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of school needs. Essentially, this is saying that the hierarchy of needs, you need to fulfill the physiological needs before being able to fulfill the safety needs, before being able to fulfill the belonging needs and esteem needs, before the children are able to learn properly. And because of the pandemic, over the past 2-3 years, children, especially Gen Alpha, have suffered from a lack of esteem needs and belonging needs. So for example, low social interaction with their peers and also with their adult role models like teachers. And so a lot of their confidence and their self-esteem still needs help. And that's why we also say be careful with social media for these younger generation, because their self-esteem and confidence needs, that if they're not getting it from their adult role models, they're going to get it from social media through things like validation and maybe potentially, hopefully not, knock on wood, posting, revealing things just to get a boy's attention or something like that. So that's something that is interesting to think about, is to focus more on their physio, emotional, socio, and psychological needs rather than the tech itself. And this is another image diagram that we discussed with the teachers today about rethinking the future of education, again, to better serve students for the future of work. Alrighty. Back to you, Mon.
Okay, we're going to discuss our last topic for today, which is how YSafe approach cyber safety at home. Okay, kids, next. Okay, so screen time. Recently, studies have shown that setting limits on screen time can have a very positive effect on kids' physical, social, and behavioral well-being, and it can even improve their academic performance. And as we all know, screen time has a very negative effects on children. Some of them are sleeping problems because if they have been on, for example, Instagram or TikTok or playing games, their brains are engaged, or they might be thinking a lot about what they've seen before, and they have trouble falling asleep. And also they also will have a deteriorating eyesight. And second is lower grades in school because they are having a hard time to focus studying, reading fewer books, less time with family and friends, not enough outdoor or physical activity, also weight and mood problems, because research have shown that increase in screen time actually results in increase in loneliness and also depression, which can lead to weight and mood problems, and also poor self-image and body image issues the longer you see these influencers or celebrities having these body goals, they say. And however, it is important to note to them that these posts are only highlights of their lives, and they rarely post about the low times, and image or videos are many of them manipulated and edited. And then fear of missing out, as I've said before, and in a highly social app like Instagram, they want to be updated, and so they spend a lot of time in not missing their friends' posts or influencers' posts, especially the stories only 24 hours. And then they have also less time learning other ways to relax and have fun. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the screen time plan guideline by the AACP. For children age 2 to 5, limit non-educational screen time to about 1 hour per day, and 3 hours on the weekend. For ages 6 and older, there's no like a dedicated specific number, but encourage a healthy habit and limit activities that include screens. Third is turn off all screens during family meals and outings. Fourth is learn about and use parental controls, as I've already explained the how Instagram and TikTok have parental controls. Fifth is avoid using screens as pacifiers, babysitters, or to stop tantrums, because it will create a very unhealthy habit for your children. And then turn off screen and remove them from bedrooms 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, as I've already said before, to keep their brains disengaged before bedtime. Next. Okay, so these are for the parents whose children love to game or are addicted to gaming. So first is no gaming consoles in the bedroom. This is because brains, research have shown that, or study have shown that brains are not fully developed until a human is 25 years. So before that, especially children will have a hard time in self-control. So if you have that device in the bedroom, it is very hard for them to actually make themselves not play that. Second is no more than 2 hours of gaming per day. This is because research have shown that 2 hours of gaming is still very beneficial in problem solving or any analytical tools and etc. But after 2 hours, it becomes detrimental. Third is set game off time at night. So your children will expect that nighttime that there's no game or they cannot play game at nighttime, and they won't ask you again every day. Setting that expectation. And after that, setting up parental controls and on gaming consoles, as I've explained, like apps like Instagram or TikTok. Games also have parental controls that you can actually use. And then no games at least 1 hour before bedtime to keep them disengaged before bedtime. And also be aware of the rating of the game. There's a website called Common Sense Media, and there is actually a quite comprehensive list of games explaining and rating them on how dangerous it is, explaining, for example, like their level of violence or like strangers, stranger dangers and everything. And lastly, it's very, very important to supervise and get involved, and if possible, play with them, because by supervising and getting involved, or maybe just asking them what games they're playing, be interested, you will know what they are playing and what kind of games that they're engaged to, and who they are playing and how they are playing, and etc. Next. Okay, so this is YSafe's method, which is called the ABC of cyber safety management at home. So first is control access, second is set boundaries, and lastly is openly communicate. So next. First is you control the access. As I've said before, set up your child's device with restrictions and settings. iPhones these days have a very, very advanced feature in restricting certain controls. For example, it allows you to block applications that you might not want them to open, or inappropriate content. For example, maybe there's their search engines, limiting the content that it comes up, or setting up time schedules that they can open a certain app, or and also enables you to control their devices remotely and basically monitor your child's use of these gadgets. Next. And second is controlling access of from their social media and game accounts, as I've already explained before. If you allow access to an app or game, by default, it's usually set to public, and the app needs to be made safe. So make sure that the privacy settings are at the maximum level, and don't forget to turn off the geolocation services on their devices, because nowadays it's very, very easy for people to actually search up your location and can be very dangerous for your children. Next. And step 4 is set boundaries, make a technology use schedule and identify a technology-free zone. Set a structured screen time schedule so they know what to expect. When they can use their phones, when is the leisure time, and also adopt screen-free area. It can be the dining area or a specific living room that you make screen-free. So in that specific area or time, they are not allowed to actually play with their gadgets. And as parents, you have to also apply that rule for yourself, because as we all know, children model or mimics the parents' behavior. And step 5 is discuss and sign a digital agreement. A digital agreement sets clear rules around the expectation of your child's online behavior and how you're involved as a parent. And what our advice is, get them to also give inputs. So it's not only you tell them what they can or cannot do, but they also have inputs, and it's a two-way communication. So by doing this, it creates a sense of formality and responsibility for them. And it's also, it gives a good reference point to go back to when kids break the rules. And we actually have samples of this. And it is also a good advice to include rewards and consequence if they break the rules, or if they achieve a certain goal. So step 6 is openly communicate. As I've said, supervise and participate. It's good to check their social media regularly. And however, remember, don't overlinger. Show interest by getting involved. Show interest by the conversation starters that we've already discussed before. Get involved in your child's digital world, and make cyber safety a regular talking point in your home, so that your children will be more comfortable and are more aware, and are more educated about cyber safety. So I guess that's it from us today. We'll be accepting questions if anyone has.
There was a lot to go through there. So how's everyone feeling about all the topics? It could seem very daunting, allowing children to use social media. But again, as we spoke to the teachers today, at the end of the day, it is the reality that we're living in. Technology is not going away. And so our YSafe's, I guess, mission statement is that we're not going to condemn technology, but instead we have to help children use technology and target their behavior rather than the technology itself. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute. We would love to hear any stories or cases that you maybe would like some advice on, or any stories at all. Feel free to share. Ibu Suzy, do you have any anecdotes? Oh, Ibu Suzy, we can't hear you. Well, I can't hear you. Can everyone else hear her, or is it just me? I'm not sure.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you. This was very insightful. I must admit, I'm one of the parents who sometimes doesn't know what is actually trending, because I'm not so much on those social media platforms. So it was really good to hear that there is this option for the family account for TikTok, because all the kids want to do TikTok, but we are really afraid of TikTok because of the ads and the films that you see when you log on, no matter what, right? Because you cannot limit the advertisement tool that TikTok is actually using in order to make the platform pay. Mm-hmm. And so that was quite useful. A few of the tools we are already using, but I gained some really good insights from this presentation. Some links where we'll definitely have a look and see.
That's really great to hear. I guess another thing that we also didn't mention about TikTok, it's also a good idea to encourage your children, if they are going to be using TikTok, to always take control of their own For You page. So TikTok actually allows users to report the videos that they do not want to see on their For You page. And so that will help their algorithm to get rid of all those types of videos as well. So I think that's another good point to share with your kids if they are already using TikTok. And they can also, there's an option to I'm not interested in this video, so they can also click that as well if it's nothing to be reported about, because TikTok has, very, very strong guidelines, which is very good. And it also helps the kids to feel more empowered about their experience on these social media apps. We have someone in the chat. Can we have the materials that we presented earlier? Is it going to be shared to parents? Yes, we can share this presentation with you. And we will also share a list of resources and some links to the family centers, to the top games as well, because we didn't mention it too much, but like, for example, Roblox and Minecraft, I'm sure your kids are on it, as well as Discord as well, which is a community chat app that kids use where they can play games and chat at the same time. And sometimes it's with strangers. But that's why we need to have these conversations with kids and also make them feel empowered. I think something that is overlooked is how smart our kids actually are, how smart the students are, your children. As we mentioned earlier about Generation Alpha, the 2010s and above, they have had information at the palm of their hand since they were born, essentially. And so they actually have so much information and knowledge already, and they actually call them up-agers. So Gen Z is Gen Z, we are millennials, but Generation Alpha, they're called up-agers because they could be 9 years old, but they're talking to an older person, and it's like a normal conversation. It's not like a, immature conversation. They can actually hold their own, and it's because they do their own research on YouTube and things like that. So the fact that they have all that knowledge and you're giving them power to take control of their own experience, they're going to respect you a lot more, and they're going to, just appreciate the opportunity to be trusted like that. Yes. Yep. All of your children are part of Gen Alpha.
I think there was a question regarding on I am interested in the statement, don't use gadget for babysitting. I must admit I use gadget to calm my kid when outing or eat outside. What should we do as parents to reverse what already happened? Yeah. So to reverse it will take time, of course, but there's a term nowadays called gentle parenting, is talking to your children and making them understand of why they cannot do a certain thing, or why they should do a certain thing. Talking to them carefully, and asking them how they feel about it, and actually telling them why they cannot watch while they eat, for example. And I guess that's from me.
And also, just to add on to that, so researchers have also shown that although gaming addiction does change your child's brain to sort of look like a drug addiction. I know that sounds really, really scary, but the good news is that through healthy habits, healthy online habits, your brain can actually, it can be reversed, just as long as you don't, keep doing those bad habits. So if you just change some of those habits, like what Mon said, through gentle parenting and open communication, then those effects can be reversed, and it's not too late, because it's not like your kid is taking any hard drugs that will actually change the chemicals in your brain. It's something that, is habits just need to change. That's all. So it's okay. Yes, Ibu Suzy.
Yes, I just have one story to share because we have two daughters, and one is obviously a bit older. Now she's 14, but she received her first phone, I think when she was 11 or 12. I almost forgot. But what we actually discovered once was that we had all these controls via our iPhones in place. But then if she asked for permission to install something or to extend the time, you could also do it on her phone. And what one of her friends had shown her is actually how to record the code that we are typing in.
That is hilarious.
Then she would, then she would just allow herself.
Yeah,
She would
yeah.
she would have the code and then she would just do it. So there are so many tricks that the kids also play on us that we
Definitely.
don't realize,
They're
right?
very
And
smart.
yeah, so it is of concern, but I also think that the way forward is definitely to speak about it because
Yeah.
I mean, first of all the parents of teenage kids and grown-up kids know that there's a period where they really don't like to speak to us. So this is actually one of the main challenges, to actually keep a healthy relationship where you share information with each other. Um, yeah, and really, I remember times when I didn't speak to my parents about really important issues that now I realize, oh, maybe I should have told them, and they could have given me advice. But yeah, so I think the open dialogue is really important.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
that's
so
also
thank you
just
for
something.
reinforcing this idea. Yeah.
Of course. And thank you so much for sharing your story as well. I mean, that's exactly the thing. Like at the end of the day, the kids know more about technology than we do.
Exactly.
So there's no real point of us sort of like limiting, or because they're always going to find another way out. And but the thing is, the adults know more about risks compared to the kids do. So sure, the kids know more about technology and how to, do VPN,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
get to watch another stuff, even though you blocked it, everything, they already know how to do that stuff. But yeah, adults know about the risks more
Yeah.
than the kids do.
So
So that's why the communication really,
yeah, and it would be a good starting point to actually explain to them about these risks, maybe by giving examples or stories, maybe you found on the internet, or yeah, maybe in news that you found relevant. Yeah, and like not saying to scare them, but to know about and be informed about these risks and the consequence of their action.
yeah. And tomorrow, we will be teaching your kids, the students from grade 1 to grade 11. So we're very excited about that. And yeah, hopefully they will also be open to the things that we are going to be sharing. And hopefully, I don't know if our parents allowed to come as well. If you want to come to see what the kids are watching as well, or yeah, if you need some information on our presentation decks and things like that for the children, just let us know.
One small suggestion at this point, because um, the written Abitur is being conducted at the moment. So actually the sessions tomorrow are really just for the kids. If there are parents who want to come, because it's going to take place during the morning, right? They should let their EVs or EVVs know, so that we can navigate around it, right? Because
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Should have checked beforehand.
definitely, if you want to come, it's in the aula, so it can be managed without disturbing the Abiturienten. But yeah.
Yep. Or we can just send you snippets of our presentation as well.
yeah, I will be assisting Christina tomorrow because your colleague is
Mon.
not able to come, right? Mon is not able to come. So I will just stand in and also take pictures. So I will post some pictures as well in the EVV round so that it can be shared then with all the parents.
Thank you so much, Bu Susi. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, you can always maybe send your questions to Ibu Suzy later and then she can relay them to us. But yeah, we just want to say thank you so much for having us again. And hopefully this was interesting for you and helpful for you as well.
Thank you, Bu Susi, for having
Thank
us and
you.
everyone for
Thank you
tuning
so
in to
much.
this presentation.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
You too.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.